Bitcoin cousin, thanks for joining me today on Bitcoiners United. I'm super excited to have you. I've seen you on the Bitcoin Army group with Stacy and George and the others. And, you know, uh, I only became really aware of you somewhat this fall when, one, your book came out. Remind me what kind of gum you chew again?
FUGUM.
FUGUM. I love it. So I've been hearing a lot about the FUGUM, and I want to ask about that. What I was impressed by, I mean, you are quite a creator of creating a brand, all the artwork. I went to the website and the gallery, and I've seen some of the stuff you posted. You have been prolific, just churning out a lot of content, images and videos and educational stuff. So how long have you been? Well, when did you start FUGUM, and when did you really start ramping this up?
Oh man, so FUGUM is new.
Uh-huh.
It's a couple months old. It started in like a group chat. Okay, back to being when we were kids, we used to say what kind of gum? FUGUM,
Yeah.
right? Um,
It's a good mindset to have as a kid or an adult.
yeah. So I just kind of dropped that in a group chat, and people were like, "What? I don't get it." I'm like, "Oh my god, holy cow! There's a whole group of people I can explain this to." And it just kind of grew. I was on a Discord with the great Jeeves and Killer B, I think, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy this website, or I'm gonna
Awesome.
buy the domain. You can just do things. This was a couple months ago. So yeah, now the strategy is to get 2 tons of gum because that's the minimum order quantity.
Here we go, right here. I had it up. Chew the vibe. It's a vibe.
It
Uh,
is.
as a Bitcoiner, I mean, you feel it in various ways. It when I first learned about Bitcoin, and I'm kind of like, am I the only one? Or like, oh, I have like that one buddy and we could talk. And oh, there's a lot of X banter. And then with the Bitcoin Army, it really helps, like we talked about offline a bit. Like your feed might be hit and miss depending on the algorithm. Like it seems to be a little down on Bitcoin just lately, or you're kind of looking for it. Some comes to you. The Bitcoin Army really helps direct that with a circle of folks that get it, and you can connect that way. And that's how I came across you. But the mindset of like, man, are there other candles in the dark out here? As I, in my meat space world, like not many people always get it or relate to it, or there's FUD, or they're looking at the day's price and like, oh, how are your coins, Johnny? And I'm just, I have a good attitude about it, but at times it's like, you know what? If they don't get it, fuck them. So
See, and you know what? FUGUM works on so many levels, right? Because there's just the idea of just taking a beat, taking a breath, blowing a bubble, right? And just not reacting to the situation.
sip
Um,
your tea.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like it's a mindset set just built around pause. When
Yeah.
something triggers you, most people like react immediately. And it's just about exhaling, taking a beat, and choosing your response instead of letting your nervous system run the show.
Mm-hmm.
The other part of it is, that's chewing FUGUM. You can also give someone a stick of FUGUM, and that's just, like, fuck you, right?
Yeah.
Without being, obnoxious or over the top about it. It's a pause that way as well. So it really is just a mindset of not letting the bad vibes stick.
Yeah. Positive vibes all around. And hey, everyone likes getting a little stick of gum. You're having a moment, whatever. Hey, hanging out at the bus stop, whatever.
Yeah,
Stick of
right.
gum.
Anything. Yeah, and it's very memeable. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot people can relate to. You like you brought up the artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Bazooka Joe comic strip ideas that could go
Yeah,
with it,
absolutely.
right? It's a whole thing, and I think there's nothing wrong with injecting a little humor into the world, right? And having a laugh. And if seeing that stick of FUGUM gives you a chuckle, and you're like, you know what, FUGUM, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to pop right now.
Yeah. You know what's funny about Bazooka Joe is like when I was a kid, for whatever reason, I mean, I loved Bazooka Joe, and it wasn't the gum at all. That hard chalk little chunk that you had to like kind of get working and chew through for a while. It was
Right.
not good gum, but I mean, it lasted on the shelf. was the comics, it was the vibe, if you will, kind of like Bazooka Joe's like a cool kid and you know, a little on the fringe. Um, and like you mentioned with FUGUM, it's just a whole realm that's it's not just it's much more than just gum. It's a vibe. It's a culture. You are also not just being cool about it. It's Bitcoin. You're a base Bitcoiner, and so behind that is a layer of you know the Bitcoiner ethos and the Bitcoiner community, and with the artwork and everything else. Bitcoin can get to you psychologically in a way where um, you're as you go down the orange pill trail and people maybe don't relate to it and you start finding all the rabbit holes and you're like, man, am I crazy? Because I'm looking at everything differently now. Like fundamentally, everything is different. And I'll go to like, I've got a daytime job, go to the fiat work, or you're with family or other friends, and they're aware maybe that you're a Bitcoiner or not, but they don't get it. And so, um, it's like, man, that self confidence or check every once in a while of like, why am I doing this? What is my why? No, I know who I am, even if nobody else understands it. The FUGUM can represent that sense of peace, confidence. Things are good, and Bitcoin is validating when you stick to it and keep doing the work.
Well, I like that a lot too. You know, we live in a mimetic society, right? I mean, that's where you can't deny your human nature, if you will, to like imitate other people, to maybe want the same things, and to have a tribe, if you will, or you know, people who understand you. So when you do get into Bitcoin and you actually like internalize this and understand it, it's like, fuck, I'm alone out here. Like,
Feels like it.
you're on an island and it's like, why am I the only one who sees the world like this? And then you start, you know, picking up other people, you know, meeting other people. It's like, oh, okay, like these are my people. Like
Mhm.
we're understanding this the same way. And so I mean, like to bring it back to FUGUM, like if FUGUM is the thing that gives you a little like, you know what, I'm not alone in this, FUGUM. Like I
Mhm.
see the world. This is my North Star now. FUGUM. If they don't see it, heck yeah. I mean, why not? It's
I'll tell
however.
you my Yeah, totally. I'll tell you my little FUGUM story. When I first saw the name and the brand, and here's how I connected with it, was that I'd been into Bitcoin for a few years and I got to a point where, okay, I've taken a number of steps. I'm doing it for me. I have a friend or two out there that also kind of get it, but we connect periodically. But sort of a next step for me was to start doing meetups. And I'm not in a big town, but it seemed like a large enough town that I could get the word out a little bit, organize a meetup with a buddy or two, invite anyone who wants to come at a local tap room that a friend of mine ran, and we just get together and talk Bitcoin. So I put the word out, put the invite out. You do that a few times, it's like, yeah, let's meet, let's do a thing, and then it's like you and your friends, or maybe someone random stops by, or people walk by, check it out, walk on, and after a while, I was in this period of time where like I really needed people to know. I was trying to orange pill people. This is important. I wanted people to know and getting the word out. Hey, come to this. I posted a couple of different times. I'd post an invite on like trying to just get it to the community. So like I cringed to say Facebook, whatever. I just put it on Facebook and it would get trolled or by the admin banned on the community page. Like, we don't do scams. We don't do Ponzi scheme, whatever. And I'm like, wow, okay. And after a while, it's not that we were doing anything bad at all or that we could have continued. I just had to prioritize my time. But I was like, these meat space meetups are not as necessary to me anymore. If people don't get it, I got to like a real FUGUM point with doing meetups,
Sure.
and you find your community more and more online, and because it's so large. Plus, there are very smart people, smarter than me out there, where I'm learning from all the time and inspired by. So that was my FUGUM moment. What?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can finding your community online, right? The borders are gone now, right? You can find like-minded individual, and that has its pluses and minuses, because now anybody with any kind of idea can find like-minded individuals, right? Who and then enter their own echo chamber and whatnot. But as far as the Bitcoin goes, so I just had my first meetup. I met Bitcoiners in real life. It was a great experience. Went down to Chicago with met Stacy and George. George performed one night, and we had 30 people. It's not like a weekly thing or anything, but
that's great.
Yeah, we had like 30 people. We were hanging out. I was selling my book out of the trunk of a car. I had a few like hard copies, and but not once was anything ever a flex. That's the one thing I noticed. Like there was zero flex on anything. Or like if you go to a party with like, normie, whatever, everything's like just like look what I have, look who I am, look how I am identifying myself.
Yeah.
And we all just identified as Bitcoiners, and that was good enough for every single person there.
Yeah.
Right. And so that sense of community was, really, really great to feel and be part of, and made some lasting friendships that way.
Bitcoiners are great people. I mean, on par, I'll just say I'm not conflating too much here to say that, like, when I go to conferences, even big ones, like I was at Vegas, last spring, and Miami before that. And, the suits have certainly entered the space in a lot of ways. I'll just say, I mean, call it vibe or not, but I would meet the most random plebs or even higher profile people, and there's something there that they've ridden through it in ways that we all have, that they're just cool people, or they've learned how to be humble and stack at whatever level they're at. Like stay humble and stack is a good mindset. The time preference thing. Now, not that there aren't hustlers out there, people like trying to be a little fiat, but on par, Bitcoiners are just darn cool, I would say.
Yeah. Like what's your thought on, like, since I say we're still early to Bitcoin, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, so what, I mean, does Bitcoin, I think at this point, has to attract a certain type of person, right? Like there's the whole MBTI idea that, over 90% of Bitcoiners are N or intuitive types, and 75% of the population is S or sensing types. So like Bitcoiners actually, Bitcoin attracts a certain type of person, or a certain type of person at this point gets it.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. I think in one sense, we all can easily feel like could have gotten in earlier. I felt late, whatever. We're late, but we're also early. If you're waiting on a hierarchy or a sovereign to kind of tell you that it's time, or the mainstream media, yeah, it's time now. Like, well, one, you're not that anyone's ever late, but you're following the flow. You're following the herd. That's a different breed. People that are into it like you and I are right now, it does take a certain kind of FUGUM spirit of like, I'm different. Maybe I follow the beat of my own drum. I like doing deep dives. There's a kind of a fierce independence to it, but not out of just sheer anti-establishment, but just for good reasons. If you've looked at history or care at all about the nature of your money, you gravitate there. But it takes that extra bit of courage and confidence and curiosity, open flexibility of mind, I think. Like you got to have that at some level. At some point, there's going to be a broader retail market that flows in, and yeah, they're going to do the ETFs or whatever. You get a little hook, like when you're new to Bitcoin as well. You may have all the right things. You can get excited about number go up. That's an obvious thing. Like, ooh, number go up. And then when you've survived through volatility, you reconcile your why. And but so when I come across other Bitcoiners that are still kind of earlier on the path, or they're like, I've gotten people off zero, but they're very much number go up. they have the potential, but I'm not sure how much they really get it, and they get chilled feelings when their number goes down and all that. So you kind of, when you enter Bitcoin, you get over these humps, and then you stick for reasons, and then you might face your own new challenge, and then you stick for reasons. And when you've been in it for just long enough, it is a special kind of a person, I think, that can look at the world from a very honest perspective and not be waiting to be told how to think about it. You're just doing it yourself because you can just go out and do things. So
That's
and
right.
that's what you're doing. You're just going out and doing things.
You can just do things. And that, I mean, that's the truth. And like, you bring up a good point also about like, so, I mean, I'm a tinkerer, right? Like I just learned by like figuring it, like, I don't know, we say it at work, just figure it the fuck out. Just figure it out, right? Like no one's going to hold your hand. Like
Yeah.
some people need their hand held.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's fine too. But like to like grow conviction, you need like a certain level of autonomy, right? You need to um, like be free to make mistakes. You need the
Mhm.
competence to have made the mistakes and learn from them. And then, you know, I think community is a piece of it too. Like you need a community so you
Yeah.
like feel comfortable. And I think all these things come together and build like a conviction inside of us. That I mean, for me is like pretty unshakable. Like I'm not,
Mhm.
you know, barring I don't know. It's the sovereignty piece of it too, right? There's the just independent spirit.
Yep.
I think most of us share as well. Um, the idea of decentralization, just like it just all makes sense and just lines up into a perfect storm in most of our heads, I think.
Mhm.
And you know, a lot of it, like I just wonder like how the reason I put artwork with every single one of my posts is I alluded to earlier is that sensing piece.
Mhm.
I think people need to sense, and the only way I can do that on X is like an image, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I could have some audio with it, but like, so I'm really trying to appeal to their sense. Maybe they see an image and that clicks for them and makes them interested, but you need to I don't think you give someone an orange pill. I think they
Mhm.
take an orange pill and
Yeah. Yeah.
internalize it and do the work themselves.
Yeah.
I don't think we can do the work for people. I think they need to
Right.
do it themselves, and that's how you create a Bitcoiner.
Yep. You can't force it on them.
Yeah.
But and I'll just bring this up again. So your artwork here as I flow through this, the creativity and the diversity of all these different things, that the space stuff, the alien stuff, the cypherpunk stuff, it's hot. I mean, it's just, it pops. I'll just say your brand pops. And that's what I love about it too. And that's the kind of stuff that just at a glance, people be like, what's that? Oh, cool. And if they start with that, and then it connects with Bitcoin or other things as well. I mean, that's where people start with. I think art and the creative culture around Bitcoin is such a huge part of the culture. It can't just be the the logic, the technology, the hey, if you think and rationalize this hard enough, you'll get the math. That's not going to click with a lot of people. I mean, there's a whole reason why at the conferences and elsewhere there is an art gallery associated with this stuff that people have, or the in the bazaar, and people have their wares. It's people creating stuff. It could be everything from things they 3D print or mill out or craft or draw, paint, digitize. All of that is just such a huge field of stuff that as humans we connect with as much as, person to person communication contact. The artwork does that as well, and I think that's super important.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think another beautiful thing is like we a lot of us have been internalizing this stuff so long that a lot of times the only way we knew how to get it out was through
Hmm.
some sort of like artwork like that. So I think
Yeah.
that's why like it can appeal to so many people because there's like I understand those images are AI images, right? I make AI images, but like the aspect of it, like there's a like a I don't know, it can hit something human, right? And
Uh-huh.
in those art galleries and whatnot where people have like they're milling stuff out or 3D printing, and you know, there is the human aspect of it, of like people taking their internal probably dialogue that they haven't been able to have with many people, right? Because we're
Mm-hmm.
out this Bitcoin island a lot of us are, and then they put it in this beautiful art, and it just pops, and it's like, oh my god, I've never seen anything like this before. Like you're
And
so
it can, yeah, go ahead. It inspires others. And I mean, I was inspired by that creativity. And you get to a point where, okay, yeah, I'm into Bitcoin and I have a daytime job and I have family and I'm busy enough, but now I want to do something more. Like, what can I do? Jeff Booth, I saw Jeff Booth give a talk in Portland over a year ago. And one of his little key points he would make is just kind of like, you're doing something, all of you at some level, you're doing something in the Bitcoin space. You may just be off zero. You may be running a node. You may be hashing some, doing a miner a little bit. You might be creating something, or taking self custody. There's various things you can just simply start with and do. But wherever you're at, think about like what's kind of like my next thing that I could do. What more could I do in Bitcoin? Ask not what Bitcoin can do for you. What can you do for Bitcoin?
yeah,
And
right.
so like every one of you are doing something. Like what would you do more? What's your next thing? Were you an entrepreneur before Bitcoin? Before you were aware of Bitcoin, were you much of an entrepreneur or a creator type?
No,
Not at all.
no, no. I'm an engineer. Like that's
Okay.
my day job. So I analyze structures. Like I'm math. I'm
Uh-huh.
logical brained, and then yeah, I just supervise stuff get built. So you know, um, Bitcoin provided that. It just provided that outlet that I've always had, right? Like I always wanted to be a writer. Like that was my dream when I was a kid, and whatnot. But yeah, it's more just like it's an outlet. It's that tinkering of like, hey, this is what I found. I think this is something I can contribute to. Um, and maybe it's just that it's not like rigid, the
Mhm.
way a lot of things are. And the barriers to entry are so minimal that any pleb like myself can just start throwing up images. And you know, somebody says, "Wow, that's really cool," and it's like, "Wow, that feels good. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep doing that." Like that's how shit works.
And it feels great to go from having ideas to creating something tangible, even if it's online, but you're putting it out there
Yeah.
and people are looking at it, having their reactions. You get some validation. I was in Chicago last summer, um, for about a week on a little vacation trip with my older boys. And uh, when I think of the work you do, we went on a boat tour, and okay, the bridges, the buildings, the rivers. We went up and down the rivers and did the architecture tour. It's just cool to see all that right up close and feel that core downtown. When I think of engineering, I think of that architecture and the bridges we saw, and just everything about a big city. Now, granted, I don't know that I want to live in a big city at this stage of my life, but I can really appreciate everything about it, the vibe in that regard too. And do you work like on that kind of a stuff?
So I work mainly in energy. So
Energy, awesome.
oil refineries,
Oh,
energy substations, that type of. So I was a bridge engineer out of college, and designed an interchange north of Jacksonville, Florida. But then moved back, just switched positions, and got more into the energy aspect of it.
cool.
So yeah.
We have a local public utility district when I think of energy. So quick funny story. Um, my daughter goes to the same school as the son of kind of the director of our local utility district, and I'm thinking like, and they're right on the river. They're right next to like a Google farm, and there's energy sources right there, like huge amount of energy that, um, you can only move energy so far. I mean, hundreds of miles and whatnot. After that, they're like, oh, we sell it to California. Okay. Like on a market, right? It's not like they're moving all this energy to California, but they produce it. And I know that they burn it off as they sell it for, trades. So I ran into him and I said, I'm like, hey, said his name. Hey, have you ever thought about Bitcoin mining? I mean, you got this, I don't want to say sequestered energy, but there's an excess of energy and use goes up, use goes down. You can, Bitcoin's good for balancing out energy grids and using it and ramping it up, ramping it down. It's just, a direction that I can see things going to stabilize markets there. And literally, I kind of had to think of FUGUM in my head because he was like, oh, yeah, we should talk about that more sometime. Okay, yeah, see you later. And he was like, I do not want to talk about this right now.
Yeah, I've had a very similar conversation like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind because to me, Bitcoin is the energy grid stabilizer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Bitcoin is how you build out sustainable energy infrastructure.
Yeah.
Across the world. A miner doesn't care if it's off or on. It can be shipped anywhere. It just needs some energy to burn to hash. Right. So like Nigeria, anywhere, like instead of having to build out, have customers, communities come for your solar farm, you can park a bunch of shipping containers with Bitcoin miners. You're hashing, creating money the first day, and then the people will come because the energy is already there. You do that across the world. Same thing with flare gas emissions, all this stuff. Like the energy aspect of Bitcoin, I think is like severely underlooked, and I think it got a bad rap for a really long time.
Yeah.
Just like
it wastes energy, and it's like, do you know how much energy out there gets wasted just for no reason?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like look at the Wells Fargo building downtown any effing city, right? That skyscraper, you're telling me that's not wasting energy?
Right.
Even that's a logical fit. Just Bitcoin itself, like forget what everyone else is doing. You can literally day one hash Bitcoin off your solar panel, off your flare gas, off whatever infrastructure you're building. And now you can build your community around it and you're making money, literal money. Whether you choose to cash or trade that in on an exchange rate for fiat, well, that's a business decision. But and I think that's one of the great things about Bitcoin is I'm always going to act to my own rational self-interest.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. Like I am. Like I don't think being selfish is like something to be frowned upon. I think you should do what's best for yourself and people.
Yeah.
Just don't be a dick, right?
Sure.
But for the first time with Bitcoin, me acting in my own rational self-interest benefits other people in the network.
Yeah.
By me adding hash power to mine Bitcoin, it benefits everybody in the network. Me running a node to verify my own transactions benefits everybody in the network.
Mm-hmm.
Me hodling self-custody, getting it off exchanges, benefits everybody in the network. I can't think of another thing where it's like that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
yeah, I was just trying to look it up here, but Ayn Rand wrote a paper on
virtue of selfishness.
The virtue of selfishness. So I was just going to bring that up. So when people hear the word selfishness, it conflates things about, oh, you're just thinking about you, what you want. You get what you want, like as if you're going to screw anyone else. You can be quite generous and give out plenty of good vibe and gratitude to the world because in your selfish interest, that's what's good for your broadening circle of community. It's not like you're being selfish. The selfishness for everyone, in one sense, can be that armor and protection to pierce through the nihilistic FUD that is kind of the alternative out in the world. What I see all the time out in the world is kind of like, well, whether it's between just, the system, conspiracies or various things, or, what's the hope? I'm late. Other people are already doing it. Pierce through all that nihilistic FUD. And, if you're feeling down, saddle up. And I just think it's the kind of like that virtue of selfishness. Go out there and do things. Technology is giving it to us. Bitcoin is like a gift. The door is open. Step on through to the other side, people. That's all you got to do.
That's right. And with AI now, the barriers to entry to everything are shrinking day by day, right? So like the gatekeepers of information are no more.
Yeah.
So you can go out and use AI cautiously. It's not that good yet, in my humble opinion. It's still good enough to get your answer, and if you have some critical thinking skills, you can probably work your way through it.
Yeah.
Certainly easier than using the Dewey Decimal System.
That brings back memories.
Yeah, right. But like and there's the whole debate on whether college is worth it anymore, any of that
True.
stuff. And that's not what I'm going for, but like my point is that like that slip of paper of saying like this is my knowledge, it's kind of like that barrier to entry is gone now. You don't need a piece of paper to say you know this.
Right.
But I think some danger also is coming with that as well, where we're not, where maybe people aren't thinking for themselves as much as they should, and that critical thinking muscle is going away.
Yeah.
I use AI a lot. I talk to it a lot when I'm driving. I think talking to it's the best. I'm kind of rude sometimes, but the thing that I've learned to always check myself is I always, can't say always, almost always try to remember to ask for the counter argument. Give me the counter argument.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like every time, like if it gives me something, I'll always say, what's the counter to this? Why does this make sense? Why doesn't it make sense? And really go through instead of just like accepting the first, output that you're given. Because a lot of times you're going to find it's not quite accurate. It's maybe 1% there. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. AI, I've found it can dilute itself at times, or it'll reinforce what it thinks you're trying to say, or be like, oh yeah, you're right, I guess. But yeah, I use it all the time for all kinds of everything. And I've been quite impressed. And even as it evolves, it's quite a tool. Now there's FUD about AI, or, it's going to take away jobs. We're not going to need people for things anymore, and whatever. It's a double-edged sword, but I say if it's just out there, use it, take advantage of it. You're like, I found myself, if I had ideas or was thinking about stuff, it encouraged and steered me in directions where like I can do a lot more, or I'd be, crunching away on something hard and just thinking and like doing research. Suddenly it's like I have a little research team on my hands. I'm like, oh, like I'm producing this thing, but I'm not doing all the work. I can lean on my research team, and I'm learning so much, and then I make it mine. You make it yours.
Yep.
But it's a huge tool. It's so much opportunity just that we have right now. I wonder what you think about this, because now I had my experience. I got a degree in computer science. Now I started on the engineering path. I couldn't hack all of the math when it got into the real high level stuff like power engineering, electrical engineering stuff. I couldn't visualize it. I'll just say I wasn't smart enough, but I was doing work on the side and for companies, but in software space, where I'd work really hard and be doing all this leading edge stuff in that space. I'd go back to school and be like, oh, we're back to this now. Like, since we got a Boeing grant, we're going to be studying ADA. We're going to be coding in ADA, and we're going to do fault tolerant stuff and embedded systems and stuff. I'm like, okay. And it was not all bad, but there were times where I'm just like, this is 1980s. My son is going to university studying engineering. He's doing electrical engineering and computer engineering. About to graduate, actually. He's smarter than I am. You go through that whole thing about, okay, the whole university system, like smart kids can just go out and learn. When it comes to being an engineer, maybe you kind of need that focus on the correct topics, the connections, the networking that you get from a good mentor, professor, peer students. So there's something to be said for that. Um, like maybe certain degrees like engineering, like, okay, it warrants going to get that engineering degree. But with AI and other things, it comes closer and closer in hand that you could have a whole bunch of skills and maybe not have gotten that paper. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, some job sites are like, well, we want you have to have passed the test, you have to be an engineer.
Well, that's the thing. To be honest, I wouldn't want somebody designing my bridges or buildings who didn't pass the test.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Right.
So I think, things that I wouldn't want a surgeon operating on me who, learned from ChatGPT anatomy. You know what I mean? So I think there are certain things that are absolutely necessary, and that the slip of paper to just say, hey, I did this. There's also the piece of it, like, you accomplish something, like
It's
agree with the curriculum or not, you went through it.
Yeah.
And no one can take that away from you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no one can take that degree away from you, whether you identify with that's part of your identity or not. It's still like, it's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And it proves your ability to function in a system. Some careers require a system. I mean, I'll argue that engineers need systems, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to engineer out of just effing chaos, right? Like that. My whole thing is, like, at work, I set guardrails up for myself, and I function very well within those guardrails. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just random or whatever. I function.
You have the structure in place.
Yeah, so I have the structure, but then I can, like, I'm free to function within those guardrails however I see fit, right? But I always have, like, this is the lane I'm working in, right? I think, or this is the system I'm working in. I think certain careers and certain people do well in that.
Yeah.
Other people, not so much. And that's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, we're all unique individuals functioning in a culture and yada, yada. And I don't think that there's wrong with understanding our strengths and functioning in those strengths. That doesn't make it better or worse than anyone else. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as, like, a liberal arts degree, like, an English degree or something like that, I don't know. Like, maybe that slip of paper, but I don't want to demean, like, the work that they put in either.
Yeah.
Whatever. Even if you did all that research on ChatGPT and you didn't attend a single lecture, it's still proof of work.
Yeah.
It's
still a huge amount of discipline. Like, even regardless of some of the classes that I went to that in hindsight were kind of like, okay, well, whatever. You had to put in the work. You had to have the discipline. You had to get up in the morning or study at night or pass that test. You're going to have, at some level, I mean, not everyone can work for themselves or whatnot. You're going to have a boss that's going to say, well, the current project is this thing. Now, you can walk away if you want, perhaps, but, like, to function in the world, you're going to have those skills of, well, okay, well, I got to get my nose on the grindstone on this deal, and it's not mine, but I'm working on it. And so I'm going to figure it out. And that requires requirements that aren't, under my control. So,
well, even the trades go through a system, right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You don't just walk in and you're not just a master carpenter the day you're on a job site. Like, I work with the trades a lot, and there's a system. The only difference, and they attend school. People don't realize that, like, carpenters go to school. They just work and go to school, right?
Yeah.
So, like, every so often they'll have a week off that they need to go take a framing class or truss class, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. That's part of the whole deal. The only difference is like, now they're working, earning money, and and whatnot. So it's just a little different route. Now
Yeah.
the debate often comes in is like, okay, is it smarter to do that, be saving in Bitcoin while working, or whatever, we can do the math. But again, it's all individual, right? It's just choices. We all have to live with the
Yeah.
consequences of our actions, and it doesn't mean one is better than the other. It's just the path we chose.
Yeah. And as long as kids don't feel stuck or have lack of purpose, if you're going to be a journeyman,
That's it.
you're gonna learn on the job and hands on, and you're gonna work, and then you're gonna go to school, and then you're gonna work and apply it. And it takes, we're only humans, folks, so you got to do it. A couple years ago, I wrote a short-ish paper on Bitcoin is not crypto, because I had, well, years ago when I first got into it, I'm like, oh, Bitcoin. And then I'm like, ooh, altcoins. Ooh. And then I'm like, oh, wait, no, shit coins. And I was learning. And once I understood the nature of shit coins and the mother load of shit coins and all the funny business, I wrote a little article on, just categorically, Bitcoin is not crypto. Now, you wrote a book along these lines here. Bitcoin, not crypto. Why Bitcoin stands alone as sound money in a digital age. Available here on Amazon. What inspired you to write that book? Now, it came out just in September, right?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
It was an interesting.
you don't have to admit to any shitcoinery, but did you ever start down some of that path and then back up and go, oh, yeah?
I'll be totally honest with you. This book started off, the first version is a shitcoin book. It started off as a crypto book, kind of like, right. So I absolutely used shitcoin.
Yeah.
And I kept all these journals, right? And I'd write my investment theses down, and like have my paths and my ideas, and kind of like how it evolved. And I'm like, you know what? After my first 2 years, whatever, I'm like, I'm just gonna put this down. I'm gonna just write a book, and I'll just throw this out there and see what happens. Because everything I was reading didn't have everything together, right? It was like, I take a piece from this book, take a piece from that book, yada yada. Well, through writing it, and it took 8 revisions, it turned into, and by researching and playing these out and going to first principles and all this, it turned into Bitcoin, not crypto. Because there is only one sound money for the digital age. That's not to say, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do with their money. Well, if you want to, whatever you think is right, that's what's right. And I'm not here to tell you any different.
Not financial advice, folks.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Just don't, but if you mess with my energy, FUGUM, right?
Yeah.
I believe, or I've come to the conclusions I've come to. So it was actually like a refining process that brought me to Bitcoin, not crypto. So it's really about clarity, and like, people hear crypto and think Bitcoin is just another token or a tech project, and this kind of explains why they're completely wrong. And so history, monetary breakthrough, that crypto is just a collection of startups and experiments. That's really it. And I mean, it just goes through the history, kind of, brief history of money, Bitcoin versus fiat, centralize all the monetary properties of Bitcoin. And then it just kind of goes off into some more, philosophical, like there's 3 chapters on energy. I think the energy piece is just huge, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not about price or hype. It's just about understanding why Bitcoin exists, what problems it solves, what problems there have been, and then, why confusing it with like the broader crypto industry just kind of like muddies the whole issue here. Right? Like, this isn't a tech startup. There's no founder, there's no CEO, right? Like in all these other like, if you can go from proof of stake or proof of work to proof of stake, you are not money.
Yep.
Done. Like that's it. Like money needs like pure rules that are written in code that are enforced and can't be changed. That's
Yep.
that's it. And it has the network effects and everything to back it.
And is the most decentralized and secure. Now, I'd like to see more people run nodes. I'm all about, hey, run nodes, people, run nodes. If you can contribute hash, great. But we need a good network out there. So run nodes. When Ethereum, I was still kind of like evaluating Ethereum's potential a bit, and like, oh, the internet of the computer of the internet, and it can be money. But when they went to proof of stake, I'm like, I'm out. Yeah, no, I'm out. They lost the plot. And to have other projects say, no, 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 we've improved Bitcoin, and here's why. We have a white paper. See here, we got a white paper. Whatever. We're all transparent. The tokenomics, yada yada, and it's like, okay, so you may have a cool project and a big idea. It's like, and what you're gonna like supplant or parallel Bitcoin, but you do this cool thing. Maybe it does a cool function, but you got to have a token. You got to be on an exchange. You got to pump it up. You got to convince people to run it and use it and stuff. Like it's the fiat brain, the monkey brain. And when people come to me and they hear like that, they heard that I'm into crypto, they'll say, oh yeah, you're into crypto, right? I can just be like, not at all. Nope. I do not touch crypto at all. Oh, you're not, you don't? No, no. Oh, I thought you did. I do Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I separate entirely. I do Bitcoin. I'm always learning about Bitcoin, crypto and all that. I was like, it's a no-go zone. Do not get lost.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. It's somewhere along the line that plot just got totally lost. And I'm not even going to go as far as to say that some of these projects may or may not have uses in the future.
Sure.
Doesn't mean they're effing money. Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't. And
exactly.
So like they may be money inside the ecosystem, but now you can change the tokenomics in your ecosystem. Look at the like token or future available tokens in the future for a lot of these products. It says infinity on CoinMarket.
Right. We can print as many whenever we need them.
Yeah, like that. Is that something you want to spend your time and energy for fiat, working in the fiat world, and now you're going to put your money here? It's just playing fiat games. It's number go up technology based on whatever narrative is convenient at the time for whatever the powers that be say it is.
Yeah.
And hey, there's a token for that. We're gonna, this one's gonna go up. Now that I play that game for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not, and that was my choice. That was my choice. And I learned so many lessons, but like my big thing is just like, and also the whole point of FUGUM is like optimize for clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I do, I optimize for clarity. And
awesome.
I think that cutting out all that noise gives me the energy to focus on the things and people that matter and that will help improve the world around me, thus for other people.
Yes.
And I think losing the plot and, chasing, this fiat mindset of, I think it's just mimetic chasing of like consume. How much can I consume? That's the scoreboard. And I think crypto just plays into that. I think Bitcoin plays into something more just rooted in reality, just physics. Just right. Things don't cost nothing. That's grammatically inappropriate, but like
there's no free lunch.
Yeah, tin staple, right? Everything has a cost. And if your token can be created out of thin air, that is how much it is worth.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend my time and energy in the real world for that.
Mm-hmm.
Sit there and try to like time this and like watch charts and do all that. that's fine. Like, I get it. I play that game a long time too. Um, that's great. However, anyone else spends their time and money, I don't give a shit. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
you do you. I hope you're happy. I'll support you any way I can. But when it starts affecting my time and energy, that's when fuck them. That's
Yeah. Uh, dabbling in a bit of shitcoinery for a period of time made me a stronger Bitcoiner ultimately.
Mhm.
And I cringe thinking about the people that you get sucked in, or when numbers going up, you're feeling good about it. And just, boy, how are you going to handle when you get wrecked or rug pulled, folks? But you think about it, the amount of energy that people might pour into like being smarter than a market or smarter than the founders, and like you're going to outgame the game. And so, man, it could work some people over so badly. And it's like, back off, get based, get to your first principles, stick to Bitcoin. And what it did for me, like it sounds like it did for you, was like once I got on that path, I started to be able to reframe my brain in such a more clean way of like, oh, it's not just Bitcoin or what my money or my, certain philosophy I might have about economies. It infiltrated everything for me, where it was like you said, what is my time worth? What is my energy worth? What is my mental health work? And
yeah,
like, what am I doing at work what am I doing for work? I've got a daytime job. It's not a bad job, but when I'm at work now, like knowing Bitcoin, and working in Bitcoin like I do now, I will go to my own daytime job with a different perspective. I'm kind of like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And am I stuck? Could I do something else? And okay, I'm not going to quit my job, but like you, I'm going to start FUGUM, or I'm going to join the Bitcoin army, or I'm going to like get out there. I'm going to do something. And then it's like, yes, this is what I want to do.
yeah,
And it gave my whole life and even my family a sense of like, daddy's not black pilled anymore, basically.
yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head. And something absolutely happened. Like I like the idea of Bitcoin as a battery, right? Like it stores our energy for future use, right?
Yeah.
In the form of money. And having that little battery in your back pocket frees up so much mental energy, and it just optimizes for clarity, because you're like once you're over that hump of like what if or what about this, right? And like, look at all those pretty colors over there, and you're just squirrel brain. But once like you dial it in, and like, to be honest, like writing this book, I finished it in February, last
Mm.
like a year ago, and
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
put it, I didn't put it out till September. I was just
Oh,
kind of sitting on it, and then I had a friend, or someone on X just say, I brought it up casually, and they're like, "Why don't you put it out there?" And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I? Like, what?
sure.
Like, my whole fear was like all of a sudden like the crypto folks will come out of the woodwork. To be honest, like no one's gonna read this book. No one's. It's. I'm a
Hey,
no.
you
I'm
never
a no
know.
name from wherever. And that's, I'm fine with that. I put this out there as like, just, this is my truth. This is my truth right now, and it's a way for me to save a moment in time and put it out there. I can't, I'm not like I'm not chasing anything here. I just want people to just take a beat and be like, you know what? Optimize for clarity. Like all this other stuff, it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
that's the same with FUGUM too. Like letting other people just ruin your vibe, or letting these coins just ruin the vibe, or like
Hmm.
how you're worried about number go up and when am I going to sell this? And it's just I've seen it bring myself down. I've seen it bring other people down.
Sure.
And hey, I've had some wins in it too, right? Like, but that's the other thing too, is people only post their wins. Um,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Right? So it's just like, find your truth, put it out there, be authentically yourself. And you know what? The rest, if anyone has a problem with it, fuck them, because you're living for you. Um, and for what you believe, and whatever that truth is. I may agree or disagree with it. I think you should still speak it. It's my choice whether to listen to it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, getting back to the core values, your core purpose, Bitcoin can really galvanize and provide that compass, if you will. And I think of some of the crypto bros out there they've gotten maybe a little quiet, or they're struggling down in there. I mean, I've read a few horror stories where what was great a year ago is now like I'm leveraged, or I was way over my skis on what token for what tokenomics that are what now.
Yeah.
For Bitcoin, for me, it's TikTok next block. I think market's going to market, fiat's going to fiat. What I what I'm divorcing myself from is the rat race hustle game of, hey, um, if you're not in on stocks or out marketing the market, you can't keep up, or you got to swim to tread water. And hey, no, put it in Bitcoin, sit back, focus on your craft, focus on your time, stay humble, stack sats. Everything gets clear, and watch your mental health refocus, and you start feeling better. I think without Bitcoin, and at one point years ago, but I was getting kind of black pilled about, I mean, everything. I'm old enough, like you, maybe I can remember things like, okay, yeah, September 11th, or the great financial crisis, the fiat games and Occupy Wall Street, and then going like, it's broken. But what do I have? Like, okay, gold. I could get into gold, or short of, I mean, and how does that work? Short of that, it's like, what, guns and ammo and food storage, because you're just like,
Yeah.
what's the hope? And then so Bitcoin opened up that Bitcoin is hope. There's a new future golden age potential that we have now. And I see its tentacles infiltrating TradFi. And you may have thoughts about this. So you think about the adoption curve and all that. And I could be like, I'm not into ETFs or treasury companies or the derivatives and all the things. And I'm no TradFi financial type genius at all. And maybe it's my 80 IQ that is the reason I'm also based on Bitcoin. Sailors talk and all that. He can go into all the things about it. I'm like, you know what? That is still too much for me. But I do think a lot of the retail market is going to enter into what they feel is their Bitcoin through those routes. But all those systems, Wall Street and others, are going to have to transition, whether they bend the knee or just simply change their nature of business, or the math is just different now. I see a positive effect, even if fiat doesn't really go away. Now, eventually, I think it could, but for a long time here, I do see the system changing, and in a very good way. Even if most people's interface with their money is through their broker or through their trusted third party, but at least there's hope for positive change.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not. I'm kind of torn, right? Because there's the paper Bitcoin, and that side of me that's like, fuck, like this is an accident waiting to happen. This is another, I don't know, crisis just waiting. Because what happens when what happens when there's a bank run? Have these institutions ever had a truly scarce asset before?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And now, some estimates say like gold is somewhere around 200x leveraged, right? Like there's claims on 200 times the gold that there actually is.
Right.
Are they doing this with Bitcoin? Does it make me nervous to think about that? It does. But I do think getting off zero and having Bitcoin, however you can get it, I don't think everyone, self-custody is a leap, right? It's a responsibility. You have to take responsibility for your actions. You're in charge of your money now. There's no one's coming to save you. Right? If you mess up, you're effed. But so having that safety net of TradFi there, with a paper Bitcoin or a Bitcoin proxy, like, okay, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that, as a gateway, right? Like, just like it gets people into the system, gets them thinking about it. Now they start doing the research and doing what all of us did, right?
Yep.
You put the work in, get the knowledge at your own pace, and next thing you know, you have that cold card or whatever, and
I like cold card.
yeah, and then you have your seed phrase on your microseed, and you're like all you're bought into the system. I
Yeah.
mean, it is. I like it as a gateway. I don't think it's the be all end all, but for some people, it's a great start and a great alternative to self custody. So I'm not here to tell anyone what to do with their money.
Yeah. I've acknowledged that there are, like I think of my parents or like
Yeah,
when I was a little younger, like my grandparents, they simply were not going to understand certain aspects about technology, or, you make the mistake of starting to become some some boomer's tech support guru or whatever, and then you're on the hook for every single little silly thing. So in that mindset, it's like there are people out there that, yeah, their limit on what they can really digest with Bitcoin is going to be a different ceiling than what, like, maybe up and coming generations are willing to take on. Um, so if people are going through it through their trusted third parties, their corporation, their broker, I'm not judging that too hard, as long as Bitcoin can remain decentralized and secure, and like plebs like you and me can still take self custody and have access to it, that the on ramps and off ramps are accessible. We can still buy and trade and sell in it. Um, what protects that is running a node. I tell people, I tell people all the time, I'm careful not to like rush people over their skis when they're like still navigating basics. But if someone's capable and competent and they've taken the steps, I'm like, take self custody, get that off exchange, think about how you're doing that. It's responsibility, but this is your sovereignty at stake here. And for the sake of humanity, we need to have that open door forever. Um, Now, if you're going to take self custody, kind of my little joke here, but you get your hardware wallet, however it is, you might have your seed phrase like on a little piece of paper. And that's how I started. Like, oh, I'm off exchange now. I took self custody. And then you're looking at your seed phrase. You're going, okay, I can put this in the safe. I tell people my first step. I got a little steel plate. I got a scratcher pencil. I scratched it down on steel,
yep,
on like a plate. Put that in the safe. Whatever. Okay, good step. There are good options out there. I would never tell anyone how to do it exactly, but you're thinking flood, fire, catastrophe, whatever, security. And so secure that shit. So, um, on that note, let me play a real quick thing for my sponsor here. And uh, this is a funny little deal. As a Bitcoiner, you know that taking self custody is critically important. But if you've ever had a seed phrase, you've probably had it written down on something kind of like this. You can hide it or secure it, but paper burns, paper fades, paper gets wet, paper rots, paper blows in the wind. Paper has things written on it that might look important. So get off paper and get yourself a MicroSeed at microseed.io. Get the kit and crank out all the keys you'll ever need forever. So anyway, yeah, the MicroSeed work I do, that's definitely a way to take self custody. I'm not going to tell anyone how to take self custody. I would just say, if you're off exchange and you've taken self custody, you want to stamp that. So that's my little hurrah for people. Whether you got a plate, whether you got a stack of washers, whether you got all 12 words on one side of a single little washer, secure that, put it away, peace of mind. Someone I know, they had a small house fire, but it's like, oh shit, my laptop melted, or I had a fire around my safe, and that hardware wallet that I had was made out of plastic and silicon. And anyway, self-responsibility.
but like a lot of times people don't understand the hardware wallet doesn't mean shit. is just a signer. All
Yeah,
you
right.
need are those
Yeah,
12 words or
yeah,
24 words, right? So like that's what you need to protect. That's what should be in the safe or however you do it. Yeah,
yeah.
I did the washer thing. That I a piece of all thread with some wing nuts and 24 washers. Like I don't know it, but
Yeah.
I know people who use the MicroSeed, and it's way more convenient than having to sit there and bang out each letter with some kit you bought on Amazon. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
a
pretty
big
quick
fan of
and easy and clean for me.
it. Mhm.
15, 20 minutes, I can do 12 plus words and yeah, anything you need on one little deal.
Yeah,
Uh, and people have said, well, couldn't I just do this or that? I'm like, yes, you could. Please do.
yeah.
Do you.
Well, again, beauty of Bitcoin is you yourself as an individual acting in your own rational self-interest can
Hmm.
function within the system. You can get creative with it. However, but the key is, and step one is self custody. Um,
Yeah.
then if you want to, and you will, or at least I did, then you start getting into the mining and the nodes, and like not to put like I had my one node, and then with just a computer, just a desktop I bought off Amazon. It was refurbished. That one died. I ended up getting another one. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll just do this one in Linux. So we're in that. And then I was like, well, this start 9 looks easy. Did that. And I wish I would have, to be honest, I wish I would have done that from the start because it was like 5 minutes.
Start nine's cool.
It is.
Yeah. Almost plug and play, really.
And I can run my BTC pay for FUGUM right through my own node.
Oh,
You can
awesome.
run an instance of Noster. Like you can do all of it. I don't know. I've had a good experience thus far with it.
Awesome. Yeah. And owning it and doing what you want for you, um, tinkering with it. And then do you imagine yourself, and I don't know, like conferences you've been to or otherwise, but what I'm imagining with FUGUM and your book and whatnot, you could be at some of these events with your wares. I can see FUGUM at the Bitcoin conference or something down the road.
I'm the running joke is, and people should know by now, don't joke because I'll freaking do it. Is to have just a FUGUM smock, right? Right? And and be handing out FUGUM. Like I don't need to rent a booth. I got
Yeah.
gum. I can just walk around, slang some gum. Everyone's yeah, like it's gonna happen for sure. I'll be there.
And this is like Bitcoin Magazine's changes over the years, but and they, at Vegas, it became kind of like I mentioned. It's like, wow, the suits are here, and Bitcoin Magazine, whether it's their brand or whatever it is, like they're kind of getting away from like the bizarre shop craft scene. So it's like, oh yeah, you want a booth? It's $15,000 or $17,000, like for a booth. And like and they're going to be bought out by the big companies. Like, okay, oh, well, that's kind of different. I mean, it's like, okay, yep, Bitcoin's gone mainstream here.
Yeah,
um
I know what room I won't be going in the auditorium then. Like if you have, if you are paying $15,000 for a booth at a just shut up and buy Bitcoin.
that's a lot of Bitcoin, man.
Yeah, it really is. Like for a pleb like me, like I'll just walk around with a smock handing out gum and
Yeah,
save
I
my
mean,
okay.
yeah, if they're letting you in the door with their little TikTok next block bag, load that up with your FUGUM, walk around and just be like, business cards, FUGUM, take a picture with me. Hey, here I am. What do you need?
Right.
You're a free man.
I don't know if I can put enough mugs, you
Oh,
know.
yeah,
I,
awesome.
yeah, there's a whole shop on there. Like I got sweatshirts, mugs, I got everything.
Okay, hold on one second. Um, let me bring this up. I'm just going to browse through. You got your book, you got your
Yep.
stickers,
Link to the book.
t-shirts, mug.
Yeah, all the random stuff,
Hey, I'm all about it. You know,
right. It's it's something. It's all work in progress. And to be honest, like I said earlier, the minimum order quantity is 2 tons of gum. which is roughly 600,000 pieces of gum.
Oh,
So I need to get some traffic on this website um, to even make it like make sense to right, because the only place I have to sell gum would be on the website. Maybe Spencer's would carry it. Hey Spencer's, give me a holler. Um, but
get some affiliates going.
yeah, but you know what I mean. So
Yep.
I need to. That's kind of like my process here is I got to create. I'm trying to create some awareness through art, maybe some merchandise, um, stack some sats with that. We do accept Bitcoin. Um, then from there, starting Q1, I'm so next month, um, I'll start the gum process going. I wanted to wait to the new year just for tax liability purposes. It just made more sense when I thought about it and worked it out to take the write off next year when I anticipate more growth than
Yeah.
take this year. Yeah. So that's really the idea. I mean, so by the Bitcoin conference in April, which I believe the first day is on my birthday,
Oh,
I,
nice.
I'm gonna have gum. That's my. Hey, you heard it here first, people. We're gonna
Awesome.
have like physical FUGUM, not the memes, but the actual product by end of Q1 is my goal.
Bitcoin Vegas, look for FUGUM. Get on the website, people. And and I heard you on Stacy's Hive, an older pod, but I went back and caught it. And I mean, the potential here. I mean, when you think about gum, you think about the types, the flavors, the wrappers. Each one's going to have its own vibe, its ethos, its style. Um, Now I don't know what's involved in this, but when I think of peers that I know that I work with, and there's like nicotine gum, all kinds of types of gum that people are going to want. So it's an open field in that regard. It's not Bazooka Joe gum. We're talking about FUGUM.
Yeah,
So next
yeah.
level.
FUGUM up, caffeinated gum. Like,
Caffeinated gum, yes. So
yeah,
Stacy would trade coffee in lieu of FUGUM. If you
yeah,
could
yeah,
use
yeah.
some gum and drink the drink you prefer is you got your caffeine in the morning. Hey, you don't have to choke down the black coffee that I got here. So
That's right. Yeah, we have a lot of fun on the Hive Minded there. And I'll give a shout out to Stacy too, the Bitcoin Nova podcast. She's doing a great job.
yeah,
Just always
5,000 followers, Stacy.
That's right. Just she's always just been a very supportive person. Just a really really great person and a asset to the community. So definitely grateful that we connected. So
Yeah. That's what the Bitcoin Army has helped do is connect a whole lot of people together in one kind of one-stop shop go-to spot where you can find your like-minded people. You're not relying on your For You tab or the people you happen to be following. Because I don't know everybody who's out there, but then they come to the Bitcoin Army. It's like, hey, welcome new followers. Um, I'm not as prolific on X as I'd like to be, just being busy with work and life and family.
yeah.
But it's a safe space for those of us who just want to throw shit out there, go out and do stuff, share the memes. What are you doing? Here's this pod like this one here. Um, anyway,
Yeah, it's a great place for people to learn, grow, right? Come together, just meet other like-minded individuals, ask questions. Like
mm-hmm.
to be honest, like it was a huge piece of just my complete journey, right? Of even just making art in general, just like getting like a first shout out or like just that affirmation from a community like, hey, this is actually cool. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, that feels good, I want to keep doing that, right?
Yeah. And if you're a conscientious person or a sensitive type, like, I mean, I can get, when you're going to create something or you have a new idea or you wrote a book and it's kind of like, is anyone going to read this? Would anyone care? You can have like an artist can have a kind of like an imposter syndrome or like, I don't know. I mean, I enjoy it. I like it, but I mean, they're going to laugh at me or people are going to judge it. Yeah, absolutely, Stacy. I watched that episode, and it's just fun to see all banter and talk about what in the hell's going on in the space, and just go out there and do stuff. Is that you see other people going out there and just doing it, or it's like, well, who are they to just do stuff? Who am I just to do stuff? That's not the question. Go out there and do stuff, and you learn from it. Is everything going to hit? Is everything going to pop? No.
No.
Do you care? No, fuck them. So
it doesn't, like, that experience of just doing the damn thing is everything. Like that,
yeah,
that right? Like, I don't. It's so important to just, you can just do things. Just do it. You have an idea, figure it out. And you know what? In the process of figuring it out, like I did writing this book, you're going to figure out, maybe, your ideas is going to evolve. You're
yeah,
going to grow as a human being, but you're not going to grow as a human being just wondering what could have been.
mm-hmm.
Right? Like, you don't tell me your philosophy, show me your philosophy. Do
Yeah,
that, right? And I to the gum point, like, I get people like, gum, it's just gum, it's silly. it's it is, but
well,
it's more than that too.
yes,
It is more than that.
yeah,
And it's just, it's trying to let people know that you can't, it is just the, like, this started as a freaking meme in a chat, and it's kind of just started out, you know what, you can just do things, just go do
yeah,
it. Look, I can start a freaking gum company. I'm gonna, like, I'm internet it sounds so funny to say, I'm international right now. Like, people have purchased FUGUM merch across the globe.
awesome.
Freaking bananas to me. Like,
Yeah,
that's
awesome,
mind blowing, and have paid with Bitcoin. Like,
awesome.
it's just,
So much about business and being an entrepreneur. It's like if you, like an engineer could just be like, well, it's just gum. Well, it's just a book. I mean, is it special? Maybe, I don't know. Or it's just a t-shirt. Business is not about the nuts and the bolts. It's about relationships. It's about community. It's about the ethos and the spirit and the vibe and the energy that you're bringing to it. I mean, can you go down and buy any coffee cup you want, or any piece of gum you want, or any shirt you might want, or the thing that does the thing? Yeah. Is that what it's really about? Is that your life, the transactional bit of it? No, no. It's about your interaction in your relationship with the universe, with a community. It's a gestalt, which is larger than the sum of its parts. So whether, to any Bitcoiners out there that have been thinking about doing stuff, thinking about it, feeling like, well, who am I? I'm an imposter. I don't know. Should I start this podcast? Should I do this thing? I don't know. I'm nervous. What would my mom think? If you just go out and do it, and you make it about your energy, your spirit, your relationships, that's what it's about. Coca-Cola is selling sugar water, people, but here we have Santa Claus. So anyway, yeah, it's more than the sugar water, people. It's the
yep.
vibe. Catch the wave. So that's my soapbox on business.
Well, yeah. Well, it's the story, right? People will respond to a story long before logic. That's why any type of marketing, that's why Fiat in the first place works. Like, it's the story. A story overrides people's logical system. If you can hit with any emotion of any type, they're sold. Like, people will absolutely work or do what they feel that story, where their role is in the story, right?
Exactly.
And how that role makes them feel. So if you can make a story about something, it overrides the fact, like, the logical mind says, oh, it's gum, I can get any gum anywhere. There's like 3 freaking gum manufacturers in the world. I've forgotten more about gum than I ever even thought I would ever know. But, like, it's all the same. It's just the story. It's the vibe.
Right.
It's the feeling you get when you chew the gum, when you hand someone FUGUM, when you see the freaking mug, right? When you see this character, right? Sitting on his gum throne saying FUGUM, right? Like it.
The stash does it, man. You got a real style there.
Yeah, the stash, and
It's good.
I mean, like it's creating characters, and
Yeah.
people can identify with, and it's all with good intention, and of spreading the word of just what, life's too short to let the bad vibes stick. FUGUM.
And what you're doing, it's a growth process too, whether you're an entrepreneur and it's business or it's a brand. Um, you're you may not know entirely where it's going or where what your why is a year from now or whatever. It's going to change and you're going to change it. I've changed as a Bitcoiner over the years. I'm going to be a different person a year from now, perhaps. But the process, the proof of work you put into it, engaging of your brain, being creative and thinking and confronting challenges and overcoming challenges, that changes you. And you might run into some of the most core things can be remembering again, what is your why? Who am I? Or you hit a challenge or you get a step back and you're like, oh, like I have to rethink like what I'm doing, or step back and remember your own values, your own purpose. That doesn't always feel good. It's easy to be comfortable and kind of, well, I know who I am. I know what I do. I'm just going to stick with that. That's safe. Just retire and get my pension. That was my dad's advice. To step out there and get in the public eye a little bit, put something out there, something catches. Oh, that was more popular than I expected. Well, then I'll go that direction. And then you're threading your own life needle, and you're just engaged with life. And I think it's just so much more rewarding in a way that you do not know what it'll be when you start. So it turns into something that's so much more that you couldn't have planned. It's just going to happen as you do it. So
I love that. I wish I wish there was a way you can make a sparkle, like in my, like that just brought a sparkle in my eye hearing you say that. Like,
let me see what I probably have some effects here somewhere. Yeah, I know this. I don't do a whole ton of special things here, but yeah. Oh, I got banners. Anyway, I won't belabor that. I should throw in some applause or something there.
yeah, I think I think you nailed it, right? Because that's really what it is. We're just threading the needle of our own life. But if you're not constantly, I don't want to say on the edge, right? Because that's not right. But if you're not pushing yourself, you don't how are you ever going to know? And that being comfortable with being uncomfortable, that's new to me. Like this isn't. I'm an introvert of the introverts. I'm a wallflower, absolutely. So like being out and like taking this step was, took a lot of like thoughts and like pumping myself up a little bit, to be honest, and encouragement from a community that I don't think I wouldn't have stepped out had I not had that encouragement from a community. So
Yeah.
you know, good on everyone who, and it's also taught me how important that is, and so I'm more apt to pay that forward as well, right? And to support others who I see who are making an honest effort, right? Because I'm like, oh man, when I was in that spot, it's not like I'm doing big things yet, but I'm trying, right? I've like taken steps. I but seeing other people who are doing the same things, it's like, wow, I get it. Like, okay, like we're together. Like we're trying to accomplish the same things. We can support each other. And that like grows a community, grows confidence, grows conviction, and you can thread the needle of your own life in a more purposeful way, I think.
Yeah, totally. I'm just super excited to see the directions you're going, the future you have, the growth and development. Not 100% sure if I'll be at Bitcoin Vegas. We might do BitBlock Boom in Dallas Fort Worth. and we're looking at other ventures here. But if I'm at Vegas, I'll see you there, hopefully, with your maybe the FUGUM apron, or the old the cigarette boxes that people would have walking around. You got the kid with the cigarette box walking around and just be like, "Hey, I got the FUGUM."
Yeah, or like Cracker Jacks, whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Hey,
here.
Everybody will know the FUGUM guy making the rounds. No, you don't have to go find that booth in the back corner somewhere. Like, oh, just wander around. He's everywhere, man. FUGUM's everywhere.
That FUGUM guy's everywhere for sure. That's awesome.
Well, you have generously given me a good hour and a half here, and I really appreciate you being here, telling me everything. We're running out of time. I want to be respectful of your time and your life today on a Sunday. Is there anything that I didn't touch upon or that I should have asked, or anything you'd like to share before we go here?
No, I think you did an amazing job. I sincerely appreciate the invite. I enjoyed coming on here. This was awesome. It was, we haven't spoken before, and it's great to meet another great person in this space. Certainly grateful for that. ChewFugum.com is FUGUM, Bitcoin Not Crypto, available on Amazon. I'm also ChewFugum on X, Bitcoin Cousin on X. I make YouTube videos, educational YouTube videos, Bitcoin Cousin on YouTube. The Hive Minded podcast, good friend Stacy, the Bitcoin Nova podcast. I mean, there's great creators everywhere. Go find a great Bitcoin creator, support them, create your own stuff. Life's too short to make bad vibes stick.
Absolutely. You've made videos. You're out there in a variety of very creative directions. I think it's all super awesome. Super happy and gracious to you to have you join me and talk about all the things. Stacy, I'll connect with you on how we multi-stream, or at least the way I do it. But Stacy, I'll be in touch. I appreciate you joining us here today. And with that, I will just say thanks everybody for joining me. Thanks Stacy for promoting this on the Bitcoin Army. And we'll do it again sometime again and chat later. Thanks, y'all. Bye.